How do you make money on the side? I'm a party princess. I dress up as Disney princesses, with minor alterations and such to avoid getting a cease and desist letter from Disney, and entertain kids at parties. You kind of have to be at least a little good with kids, and have activities planned, and know your character inside and out. But yeah, I'm basically a group of children's new god for an hour or two, and I make $50.70 an hour. It's pretty cool. I also go to yard sales, buy stuff that will sell, shoes, accessories, antiques, and sell it on eBay. That brings in anywhere from $100 to $600 a week. Edit. So I guess this is my Reddit claim to 15 minutes fame so far, where I admit I play dress up and get paid for it. I buy old wine barrels and convert them into furniture and sell for cash. Doesn't make huge amounts, but every bit helps, and as my wife says, at least it is a self-funding hobby. I gave a dethroned Nigerian prince $25,000 last week. So any day now the escrow fees he promised me for my help are going to start rolling in. After that, I won't need to work odd jobs on the side anymore. So glad I answered that email. My dad and I deliver hot tubs for a small pool company. We have a special trailer that makes it super easy. People buy these $6,000 plus hot tubs that weigh upwards of 1,000 pounds, and then realize they can't deliver it themselves. That's when we come in and charge $200 for an easy one, or $300 if it has to go on its side. We also remove people's old hot tubs. Oftentimes they think it's beyond repair, so they pay us to get rid of it. We then fix it and resell it. It's become quite the moneymaker. You know those keep calm and posters that Reddit hates? Yeah, I make, design and sell those. My last 2 vacations were funded by these. Etsy is fantastic. I had a friend who used to sell Alaskan land over the internet. For $25 an acre, he made around $800, which is pretty impressive, I think. People would tell him what kind of area they wanted. Then he would find a place and send them coordinates and a certificate of land. I'm also fairly positive this was a scam, because I don't know how it couldn't be. Edit. Skipped a few words in the second paragraph. I buy cars that have repairable problems or at auction. Cars that are dirt cheap. Basically, I fix them up, clean them up and get them purring like they just drove off the lot. Then I sell them for much more than I paid and invested in parts. I flip like 2 or 3 a month sometimes. I've made over $1,000 on more than one occasion. One time I made like $3,000, but I got a ridiculous deal on the original purchase. Shoveling snow. The amount of money some people will pay for you to shovel their sidewalk and driveway is incredible. I fix fence and work with cows. Nebraska life. I'm a hooker. I crochet and sell things I make. I do some stand-up comedy. Real tough to earn money at it, though I wouldn't recommend it to anyone really. Since this will, hopefully, get buried, I write furry themed smut on a site called Inkbunny. I charge $8 per 1,000 words and, for an example, just received a commission for a 2-part, 20,000 word story. I'll let you do that math yourself. Edit. FFS. You guys. Edit 2. Armor paid first mid author Amma. Plowing driveways. I live in a town half full of rich yuppies, the other half's country folk who wisely invested in some sort of plowing device, whether it be a 4-wheeler or a tractor in the middle of nowhere basically. They all have these huge ass houses with long ass driveways, but no means to plow them. $10 a drive, and I feel like I'm ripping them off since I also ask for free rein to sled all over their property. Takes me maybe 10 minutes. Good lord folks, I'm not a goddamn idiot. I approach them with the price and the promise I won't get the cops called on me for trespassing, so I can snowmobile all over the place. I also like helping my neighbors and community, and they are in turn helpful and appreciative of me. I'm not being taken advantage of. A trespassing fine's like $250 and I negate that with 10 minutes of my time, for which I get paid $10. I build custom computers for a $50 flat fee after the price of the parts. Frequently asked questions. More than how do I advertise? I don't really. More than how much cheaper is it? About 25%. If you have any direct questions for me, please ask them in a private message. I work as an audio to text transcriber on the weekend. It's self-employed and I work from home. I don't earn huge amounts and it's pretty tedious not ever having a day off. But it can add up to you a cute 80 a week or so, which really helps. Kids, don't run up those student overdrafts. I teach quinceanera waltz and surprise dance routines. Basically I teach 15-year-olds how to dance for their Mexican coming of age party. Get like 1k a month out of it. I make posters and album covers for local bands and small festivals. It doesn't pay much. In fact, almost nothing. But I love it. It's something I am good at and which I enjoy. And I work with awesome people from my local music scene. I don't even earn money on the main. I do a bit of tutoring. Pays pretty well. You accrue 30 an hour sometimes. But you work more hours than you're paid for. Prep, travel, and mostly the kids are so it's pretty boring, disheartening. I also work a few hours a week at a food co-op. They pay terribly but it's fun. And a good cause. Also do charity stuff. And pay gets topped up with funny looking or bruised veg. Get some stock and some beans. You've got the stew going. I play piano for things like wedding ceremonies, corporate events, cocktail hours, Christmas parties, and receptions. And just recently, I got cast in a pilot for a TV show which I hope will get picked up. I plant coins into rich volcanic soil so that they can grow into big strong money oaks. This really needs to work. I'm in the red quite a bit. Rich volcanic soil is pricey. I recently made my own website about home automation. It's been a passion of mine for some time and now that some bigger players are getting into the industry, Apple, Samsung, etc., there seems to be a lot of new interest in it. So I made a review site for the various equipment available and added in some Amazon affiliate links. I don't make very much money but enough to justify keeping it going. If you have a passion about a niche market or a unique hobby, I suggest looking into doing the same thing. It's fun, easy, and inexpensive to get into. Edit. Seems some of you are interested in setting up an affiliate site. You Adama helped me set mine up and even hosted my site for me. He's a great guy. I highly recommend him. I own an online store. I am currently losing $30 per month. My wife is a soap maker. I was skeptical of homemade soap at first, but after trying it I couldn't go back. I didn't even know my skin was dry until it wasn't anymore. It also lasts forever and smells pretty nice. When I was younger, I would rent an apartment or house that was bigger than I needed, typically a 3-4 bedroom place. I would use one of the smaller rooms and rent the rest out. I would get permission from the landlord to sublet the rooms and would have tenants sign a month-to-month lease. In almost all cases, the rent from the extra rooms covered the rent for the apartment or house, and sometimes put extra cash in my pocket. As I got older, I rented larger places until I bought my house. Real example. 5-bedroom house. 3 upstairs plus 2 baths, 2 downstairs plus 1 really big den playroom, and a large bathroom which tenants shared. We shared the kitchen, and had 2 fridges. I bought this house, and the mortgage was $1,650. I rented out the 3 downstairs rooms for $500, $500, and $900, for a total of $1,900 mo. That was a $250 mo profit and we lived in the 3 upstairs bedrooms for free. Edit. Clarified things a bit. I became an elected government official. Basically a member of a town council of a teeny tiny town. Didn't even have to run for office, because there weren't enough people to fill the required council seats. I get about $5.6k per year, for about 4 hours a week, every other week, all from about 6 o'clock p 8 o'clock p during a couple of weekdays. About 2 hours a week average. Requirements: have to live in the town, have to make it to meetings. As a side note, I could never get elected in a real election. My political and religious affiliations do not match the prevalent leanings and beliefs of the town at all. But when I'm the only one raising my hand to participate, no problem. I'm playing drums at a local club on Friday and Saturday nights. I run a YouTube gaming channel. Took some time to get off the ground but now it pays for itself as well as my gaming hobby. The money is nice but getting to entertain people and hear from them is much more rewarding. For as acidic as the YouTube community can be, I managed to have some of the nicest subscribers. Edit. I initially wasn't going to link to it, but a few people have been asking. It's Rob plays that game. I beat jewelry and sell it for $10.50 plus a piece online. I make roughly $100 $300 in extra cash a month. I write deck guides on HearthstonePlayers.com for the game Hearthstone. I get about $40 to $60 per guide, with which I buy more cards. I has no life. My side job turned into my main job, writing erotica. I have a flock of chickens and I sell or barter eggs. Fresh, free range, organic, brown, or blue. Eggs are like $5 dozen at the farmer's market or Whole Foods. Even selling mine at $3 leaves $50 or so in my pocket after costs. I also do gardening. In the spring I sell a few started plants and in the summer, some fresh herbs. What I make from that varies quite a bit, but it's probably another $50 a month. Bail enforcement. I made $75,000 from my side job last year. I'm a C developer by trade. Shamefully, on the side I work with PHP. I work for some really wealthy people who regularly throw away old but perfectly good things. I proceed to sell their trash on eBay Craigslist. I grow saltwater coral anemones and the occasional fish. The fish don't usually make up most of the money I make. I am constantly selling clean excess water from my tank to others who duck up and need to replace the water in theirs. After 6 months 6 years the return on coral and anemones is ridiculous. Plus live rock and everything else. I can make an easy $1,500 to $2,500 a month on the side for doing nothing but paying my electric bill. I make films for children's parties. I get given a particular theme. Star Wars was the last one, and rich parents who just want to distract their children for an afternoon pay me to make a film with their kid and said kid's friends. The kids love it. The parents can relax whilst I do all the work with another person and they get a cool little 7-10 minute film at the end of it all, making them look like a Jedi Knight or a mini James Bond. Writing short stories novellas to post on Kindle. I have a few apps on the Google Play Store which gives me around €70 every 6 months or so. It is not much but I don't have to do anything about it. I have an LLC and I have contracts with a few small businesses to work on their servers, networks, PCs, etc. I have a monthly fee that covers up to a certain amount of time. After that time they are billed hourly. At my high school I buy a 12-pack of Coke from the store every morning for like $4. Then I sell them for $1 a piece at lunch. I make a decent profit at the end of each week. I take Tinder profile photos for guys who don't like to smile and make $60 for 1 hour and I email them the results later that day, usually 8-12 polished photos. My site, datashotstumblr.com. I buy and sell little toy soldiers. Let me explain. I've been a fan of miniature wargaming, tabletop, for 20 plus years. Part of the hobby, for me, is the wheeling and dealing. So what I will normally do is buy out entire armies from people who are either getting out of the hobby or who just had no real interest to begin with. Second is the most common, especially younger kids. I tend to stay with Games Workshop stuff, as they're the most common and notoriously expensive MSRP, as well as targeting newer players the most these days. I'm always on the lookout for these kinds of buyouts, and I'm very familiar with the actual value of something, and I'll constantly at eBay prices for oops stuff. I've got a system down of stripping the original paint, if any, via chemical baths and media cleaning. It's almost fully automated at this point. Most of the time, I will buy out something that interests me, part it out and then keep the rest. Having sold the entire set for more than I paid plus keeping the extras, I resell at about 35-50% off the current MSRP, and always honest that these are used. For rare stuff, the margins are much higher, like legit 4G World, etc. Never had any issues. Most people are anxious to get more bang for their buck any given day. I do this not so much for the extra money, but just to constantly have new stuff to play with that is essentially free by the time I split and resell. Looking at my spreadsheet, I did about 10 grand worth of sales last year. making 7.4k after expenses and keeping a good chunk of material. I handle most of the communications while I'm on the road during the week, and the shipping strip cycle on the weekends. I send Japanese candy on a subscription basis to people abroad. I live in Japan. I started doing it in addition to apps I had written, but those didn't do so well and this side thing ended up being my main thing. The downside when trying to diet is that I always end up with piles of candy in my apartment. If you visit, I can offer as much candy as you can eat. I tutor business calc students in college. I have no degree at all, but I took the class once and sat through it another time just to have a huge grasp on it. Business calc is usually a course business majors have to take and most of them are not overly confident in calculus. So I just take advantage of business majors that don't know calc. I charge $40 an hour minimum 2 hours and have at least 2 students a night. It started as a way to make side money and now it's all I do. I make $900 a week. I run and it really only pulls in about $40 to $100 a month. But I enjoy it. Throwaway account. I do other people's desk jobs for them. With more and more jobs being telecommute, I just work multiple jobs from home at the same time. Imagine working a desk job where you spend all day on Reddit and very little time working. Now, imagine if that was a telecommute job where you worked from home every day. Now imagine if you could pay someone else to do that job for you. Possibly only being pulled in once every few weeks for a question and paying off a portion of your salary. That's what I do. I take people's jobs off their hands. They keep their benefits and a few bucks an hour and go do something else with their life. I babysit their job. Use auto-clickers and anti-idlers to make them look active. Chat programs. Watch emails. Maybe do some actual work now and then. etc. It's basically office space. At home. Several times. Simultaneously. What started off as a side job doing this once is now a full-time gig. I will have paid off all my debt, minus my mortgage, in 6 months and my wife will be able to quit her job by summer. I buy vintage jewelry at rummages and estate sales, and sell it on eBay. The best find to date was a gold bracelet that sold for over $200 profit. I import small quantities of items off AliExpress and resell them locally on Craigslist OLX. I live in a small third world country where people don't know how to order online. Amazon won't ship here and there are lots of things that aren't available in stores. I also bring back small high value items when I go to the US and resell them, like used cell phones or GPSs. I did Lyft for a few months and made about $40 an hour on the weekends. Luckily, no pukes in my 150 plus rides. I also sell my old stuff I don't use on eBay a lot. My theory is if I haven't worn an outfit in a month or two, that I need to sell it or give it away. Started making custom vinyl decals for myself with a Cricut, then started making some for friends. Sales bought me a respectable vinyl cutter and heat press from uscutter.com. Now I make decals and custom shirts. Makes me an extra $200 $300 per month. I also recently started working with kydex, gun holsters and knife sheaths. I've just about made back enough to cover the startup, new tools, materials $350. I just like working with my hands and creating things that I and others want, need or use. Not me, but my sister. She has 6 for money and advertises on local classified sites. She has no idea anyone knows. The whole family knows. Pretty unexciting but babysitting. I work in at a school so it's pretty easy to pick up sitting gigs on the side. I make way cool replicas and props with my CAD skills and CNC 3D printing mold making. People contact me through my site. We negotiable budget, materials, and timing, and I make it happen outside my 9-5, Master Sword, Infinity Gauntlet, Oran Celestial Masamune. Here was a year 1 retrospective I posted last year. I buy large off-lease lots of used business laptops. They're usually without hard disks plus sometimes other issues. I fix them and clean them up. Post them on eBay for twice what I have into them. Started as a hobby and now I do it in my free time at home. Makes me an extra $100 to $200 a week. I build custom longboards. It's pretty simple. I just glue the ply, cut in sand, drill holes, and then put grip tape on. Then my girlfriend or any other artistic friend paints the design on it. I can sell a custom deck for about $80-$90 depending on what people ask for design, and supplies only cost about $30. But if somebody asks for a complete board, I can sell it for about $160-$180. I've mostly only done it for friends or acquaintances. Nothing too serious yet. There's a few sites that I use daily to make roughly $400 a month for very little work. Money is a lot of help for me. I mainly use Swagbucks, Perktv, and Bing Rewards. Swagbucks and Perk let you run advertisements on your phone to make $15 plus a day. Bing Rewards is done by using Bing as a search engine and will make roughly $5 every 20 days per account with a maximum of 5 accounts per household. And here are the guides for each. Perk, Swagbucks, a great bot to easily run your Bing Rewards account. And if you'd like to help me out, my referral links for all three are Swagbucks, Perk, Bing, and if you need help with setting anything up, just drop me a PM. I go to about 10 different thrift stores and flea markets every weekend seeking out various antiques that may not look like much but are actually good sellers on eBay. I make about $500 a month doing this. I also buy antique pocket watches that are dirty, restore them and resell to collectors for a tidy profit. About 12 years ago there was a huge Ugg boot craze. My wife wanted a pair for Christmas but you could only find them on eBay. They were double the retail price. I did a ton of research and found a supplier. I bought the last 2 pair and sold one on eBay. I pretty much got her pair for free. They called me back a few days later and let me know they received more. I ordered as many as I could afford and kept selling them. We made close to $20,000 in a 2-month period. I started a designated driver business where we will come and get you and drive you home in your own vehicle. I did an AMA last year about it. You can look at it here if you have any questions. It's a very good way to make ends meet.